Man, I love this beat. Welcome to the Real Rolling Podcast. I am your host, Jose Navarro, and we're going to be talking about everything filmmaking and jiu-jitsu related on this podcast. Today we're going to be talking about how your idea will get stolen. Dun 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 dun. At least I hope it doesn't, but it is possible, and I'm about to tell you why. Now, before I dive into this, there is a bit of story time that has to happen. Okay? So I moved from Miami in about 2014, 2015 to Atlanta to pursue filmmaking. While in Atlanta, I learned a ton about how to make a film by being on set and, of course, by YouTube University. And it wasn't long before I decided that I wanted to make my own short film. I didn't have any resources here, so I had to go back to Miami and ask all my loved ones to help me out, which they did. I did cast a couple roles, like the lead role was cast on Actors Access. And this short film was titled An Uber Bad Day. It was about an Uber driver who picked up one of his clients, and turned out that, he just wound up going on this outrageous comedic action adventure with this client. The protagonist in this film was kind of like, a socially awkward kind of guy. And that's why he drove Uber in the first place. He wanted to meet more people and, try to work out the kinks of that social awkwardness. That was his purpose in doing so. So I went down there, we shot the film. It was a lot of fun, but first time director, I made a ton of mistakes. I mean, a ton of mistakes. And those mistakes cost me. I was able to get a trailer done, but I could never finish the film. I was missing too much stuff. So that film never saw the light of day, but I did get a trailer done. In any case, fast forward to 2019, a buddy of mine, really good friend of mine, Jerry, calls me up. He says, Jose, they stole your shit. And I'm like, Jerry, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, dude. Nobody's stolen anything from me that I can tell. He's like, no, your movie, An Uber Bad Day, they stole it. I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, check your text messages, click on that link, and then call me back. Well, I click on the link, and it is a trailer for a movie called Stuber, starring, what's my man's name? Kumail Nanjiani, which really good actor. He's been in a bunch of stuff since then, including Marvel's The Eternals. And Dave Bautista. Love that guy too. He's a WWE wrestler who is now an actor. I feel like he's in everything nowadays. Really admire him. He trains jiu-jitsu, which as do I. So in any case, the protagonist in this is kind of socially awkward and is an Uber driver and picks up this detective who is Dave Bautista, who Dave Bautista plays rather, and they go on this wild adventure. And it sounds a lot like my story idea. And so I'm going to be honest. It felt like a punch to the gut. It was like, dang, these people just took my shit. But it's okay, because I'm going to sue the fuck out of them. So I start doing research and trying to gather information and make sure I have some kind of a case. And of course I don't, because tracking with all the things that I was doing wrong, I didn't register my script. I didn't copyright it, or I didn't register it with the WGA. I had no proof that the story was mine, outside of like an IMDb that I created that had a log line. And I settled that, you know what? Though this sucks, I'm going to take it as validation that at least I was onto something. That my idea was not a bad idea. And had I the resources and the connections, it might have been an Uber Bad Day that hit that screen and not Stuber. But I didn't. So I took it as a win in that regard, and I moved on. Fast forward to 2020, late 2020, where we're starting to pretend that COVID is no longer a thing anymore. And a buddy of mine hits me up. He says, hey, man, my buddy Rivens hits me up. He says, hey, man, I want to make a short film. want to make a short film about a guy who loses his family and the pain that he goes through. And I said, all right, well, let's do that, but let's spice it up a little bit. I got this idea for virtual reality. Maybe we can combine them. And we can make it a short film about a guy who loses his family but uses virtual reality to relive his memories in the past. And that's kind of his coping mechanism to his own demise. That movie's called Broken. Broken did really, really well for us. All right. I mean, we entered it into 15 film festivals. It got accepted into 13, and it won 3 awards. And I'm super, super proud of it. In fact, I will, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to link it below. So you can take a look at it. If you're listening on a podcast station, you can YouTube Jose Navarro director. Hopefully I pop up. We'll see. There's quite a few Jose Navarros out there. Or you can YouTube Broken short film Jose Navarro. That will definitely bring it up. And you can watch it. It's up there. It's about 15 minutes long. It's a good watch, I think. I'm proud of it. I think it's a good story. The first couple minutes are a little slow. First 2-3 minutes are a little slow, but it's only 15 minutes long. And after that, after the first two minutes or so, you're cruising. In any case, we make that film late 2020. I have it almost completely edited except the special effects in, like a week later. But the problem is I don't know how to do those special effects. I'm just not that good of an editor. And Rivens doesn't know how to do it either. So we also didn't have any money. I mean, like any money. We had no crew on this. Like we had 1 or 2 people help out occasionally, but we shot it in a weekend. And there were times where I was literally hitting record on the microphones, on the lav mics, the wireless lav mics we had, hitting record on the camera, manning the camera, and trying to direct the actors. It was terrible. And then on one of those days, we worked from like 6 a.m. to like 3 a.m. Yeah, nonstop. Me and my buddy Rivens were nonstop. The cast and the crew, well, there was no crew, but the cast had plenty of time to relax. We didn't bring them in super early if we didn't need them. They had breaks and stuff. We did not. We grinded it out. So we had to table it because we couldn't do the special effects. About a year goes by. I had been doing other videography gigs. My editing skills had been increasing. And I was just kind of like at a point where I was like, man, you know what? We need to finish that film. So I go back and I start researching on After Effects, and I figure out how to create the special effects as simple as possible. And I complete it a year later, but it was done. And I send it off to Rivens, a final export, so he can take a look at it and give me the thumbs up. And then while I'm waiting for his feedback, I'm perusing YouTubes, looking for whatever, and I see this trailer catches my eye. The thumbnail has Hugh Jackman on it. It's a new Hugh Jackman movie. I love Hugh Jackman because I'm a huge X-Men nerd, and he's been Wolverine since forever. So I'm like, all right, well, let's check this out. Let's see what Reminiscence is about. Well, Reminiscence is about a private investigator that uses virtual reality to relive past memories to help him solve a case. And talk about another punch in the gut. I'm sitting here and I'm like, they got me again. There's no way. How did 2 of my ideas get stolen? I'm not going to let this ride. This can't be. Rivens calls me back. He says, hey, man, yeah, the film it looks good, man. It looks great. Let's go ahead and start submitting it to film festivals. I say, check your text messages. I sent you a link. Watch that video and call me back. He calls me back, and it's one of the most deflated conversations we've ever had together. The life had been sucked out of both of us. Because though we think we had something really unique and something we were really, really proud of, we also felt like someone took it and made it a little bit different, dressed it up a little differently, and got it made. And any ideas and any hopes that we had to use this short film to get funding to make a feature, it's a wrap. That movie has already been made. Reminiscence has already been made, so nobody's going to fund that. So I went ahead, film was finished, but I still did my research. I was like, man, I can't believe this. Let me find out, like, when did they start production? do we have a case in this instance? Like, I didn't really have one with an uber bad day, but we had registered this script with the WGA because hashtag I learned my lesson. And we had proof that we had worked on it before this film was going to come out. But I found out that in doing my research, the director for that film had written it way back in 2015. I'd never been exposed to it. I'd never heard about it. It wasn't something that was talked about and I overheard it. And then a couple years later, I pawned it off as my own idea. I just heard nothing about it. But sure enough, this director had that idea before me. And even though I wasn't exposed to her idea, I came up with that film, Broken. It was very, very similar to Reminiscence. And so, again, I suppose, we go ahead and chalk that up to we're on the right path. Our ideas are not shitty. We just don't have any connections. We don't have anybody that we can put a script in front of and get the daggum thing made. And so that's the unfortunate reality of it for us. So one last story. This one's not mine. And then I'm going to tell you exactly why I think your idea will get stolen. This story is about a music producer, and he's talking about Prince in an interview. Prince, the artist formerly known as. And the producer is talking about how one time Prince calls him up around 4 a.m. and says, "Hey, man, we need to go to the studio. I got this song that just came to me. I need to go record it right now." And the producer's like, "Prince, dude, I'm asleep. I'm in bed. Like, can we just, record this in the morning?" And Prince is like, no, we got to go right now. Producer's like, why? Why do we have to do this right now? Like, the studio, it'll be there in the morning. Excuse me. And Prince says, if I don't record this right now, Michael's going to do it. And he's talking about Michael Jackson. And so I don't know if Prince studied Carl Jung, but essentially he is subscribing to the idea that, ideas, creativity is not unique to us. That essentially they exist. And we're really fortunate if it ever grazes us. Now, Carl Jung's theory is called the collective unconsciousness. And that theory, I'm going to dumb this down really hard right now. So don't drag me in the comments. But that theory is essentially that we all share a collective unconsciousness from our ancestors. And so those memories are embedded in us somewhere deep, way down and very dormant, but they're embedded in us and we all share it. Well, I would reason that if we share those memories of our ancestors, then couldn't we share memories of people not that long ago in our lives? And it got me to thinking, and I do believe this, that ideas are not unique to us because we are all experiencing this reality together, those of us who are alive right now. And though we have different perspectives, and though our perspective is based on our experiences in life and how we grew up, where we grew up, things like that, our cultures, there are core themes that we all experience, like the invention of virtual reality or the invention of Uber. And in that, these ideas exist in time or space or wherever they exist. Occasionally, they graze past us. And based on our experiences in life, we can tend to see some ideas more so than others. And the ones that we really see clearly are those are the eureka moments. That's the, let's make a movie about an Uber driver. Let's make a movie about virtual reality. Or, let's patent this idea to put a TV in a tombstone, which that was one of my ideas. I really thought it would be cool to have a tombstone with a TV in it with a recorded message, and you would come to my tombstone, you'd come visit my grave, and you'd press a button, and I'd be like, "Yo, what's up, man? Appreciate you coming by. Go ahead and hook me up with some fresh flowers. I'm up here kicking it in heaven, you know, and we vibing up here. We got Michael Jackson, we got Prince, we got everybody up here. We like, oh, Tupac is up here, believe it or not, we chilling. So I don't know what you guys got going on, but hope all is well. You know, anyway, that's what I had wanted to do. Well, of course, I go look it up, and it's been patented way back in, I don't know, 2010 or something like that, and evidently the idea did not catch on. So I thought it was super unique. I thought it was a great idea, but not many other people did for the guy who originally patented it. In any case, these ideas exist. They come across our paths. We come across them at times in our lives. They are those eureka moments. But the reason that your idea will get stolen is because it's not really yours. It's shared. And if you don't act on it, someone else will. So if you have an idea for a patent or something like that, or a story, or anything that you feel is like really, really unique and could add some real value to people's lives or entertainment or whatever it is, if you have that idea, one, you need to protect it, get it copywritten. If it's a story, register with the WGA, also register with the U.S. Office of Copyright. If it's an invention, same thing, get it copywritten. But more than anything, you also need to act on it. Don't wait. If you really believe in it, don't wait. Get on it. Knock it out. Finish the script. Write the book. Patent the idea. Talk to a fabricator. Whatever you got to do. Get it done. Because if you don't, someone else will. That's been Real Rolling. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Thank you so much. We will be dropping episodes weekly. From here on out, for the most part, I will have guests. I've got quite a few guests lined up talking about some interesting topics in filmmaking and jiu-jitsu. I appreciate you. Thank you for the support, and I'll see you on the next one.